We have a shoot today, so I haven't even showered or anything yet. I just went and got coffee, and I'm in Las Vegas, and it's super early. But I want to make a video for you on the importance of tagging. And you might think, well, this is for my clients, but if we educate everybody, then we can educate our clients, you know? So the first rule of tagging photographers is if they paid your full rate, and you ask for, let's just say, $5,000 and they pay you $5,000, no questions asked, then they don't have to tag you. That's the golden rule there. The reason why we want the tags and the mentions is so that we get clients that pay our full rate. But since they're already there at that gold status, then they don't have to. Now let's go on to number 2 as I get ready for my day. Now, number 2 is that if the clients are like, hey, what do you prefer? Do you prefer tagging or do you prefer mentioning? The ideal would be both. If they have to pick one, then I would mention doing a mention more than a tag. If it's tagged in a photo, you look at everything like, cool. Then number 2, you probably might look at the caption next. And then after you're done reading the whole caption, you're like, you like it, maybe you leave a comment, and then you're really interested in the photo and you say, oh, I wonder who did this. Because I see some people tag that little tiny little white man on the side of the photo, the bottom left. Then when you do that once, hopefully they do it right, then there's like a bunch of little names that pop up because there's multiple people that worked on the shoot. Now you have to click each one, goes into a new profile, and you're like, oh, that's a hair. I wonder who the photographer is. Hit the back screen on top, and then, you see what I'm saying? It doesn't work that well. If you could put it in the caption, that first 2 lines, so here's that photo and all the tags and everything, the first 2 lines are visible without having to expand on the caption. So when we do it that way, then it tells you right off the bat who it is. Their name is legible, but it's also clickable. Now, the little caveat to that is that if you tag them on the photo, you have to go through 3 or 4 steps to be able to reach that and to see who that photographer is. But if you ever change your name, then that automatically updates where the caption here does not. But take that risk. You want to be seen here. You're going to want to be seen more than you actually are changing your name. And if you're constantly changing your name, then you're too worried about things that aren't that important. You should be worried about pricing, etc. The reason why I share all this again is because we should all be on the same page. And then once we do that, then our clients will also be on the same page. Where is a plug? Number 3 is if you give them any type of a reduction in pricing, then they owe you a tag. Like, that's just in exchange. It's like, okay, fine, we will go ahead and reduce the rate of normally what the artwork is, and then in exchange, you're gonna promote the services. That's pretty simple. They should know that. So I would actually add that in the contract too and say, okay, so normally we would charge $5,000 for this one. It is $4,200. We do ask that per the contract, you tag the business and you tag them in that first or second line, and also you please tag the photo. All right, number 4 would be, so you shot it for free and it was their idea, then in that case, they don't owe you a tag, they don't owe you anything, because this way they don't want other people to realize, oh my God, this person doesn't realize their value yet, so I want to keep my freebie to myself. I want to gatekeep this guy or this girl, because you don't want to share them, right? Because you want to keep that good thing to yourself. And what we would say to the photographer in this case is, hey, you try to get them to tag you, but really at the end of the day, you have to realize that you're the one that messed up. I've always told you guys in this channel that there's 2 different kinds of free shoots. So there is the free shoot where the idea comes from someone else. That means the benefit goes to someone else mainly. And then there is a free shoot, which is called a test shoot, where the idea comes from the director or the photographer, and it mainly benefits your portfolio the most, but then you're gonna bring people together where it benefits them also, because that makeup artist, that model, that stylist needs that type of shot too. So the idea has to come from you. Again, they don't owe you a tag. It'd be nice if they did, because they already bamboozled you. You should get something out of it. But if you fell for that, let's collab line, respectfully, you don't deserve a tag, because I want it to hurt a little bit more. I want you to feel a little bit violated and go, damn, I worked my butt off. They said they're gonna tag me, they didn't. But in order for you to make changes, for you to have your new life, you kind of have to kill your old ways, kill your old life. So the only way you're gonna do that is if you get stung hard enough. I'm gonna go take this shower. After my shower, we're gonna go to number 5. And what number 5 is that you did a test shoot. The test shoot is basically the idea came from you. And what that means is it's gonna benefit you the most. But because you are an all fair and loving photographer and director, what happens is you are going to make sure that everyone benefits from the shoot. And that means making sure you pick the right makeup artist. In addition to all of us making sure we tag each other, I made sure that in one group text or one email, or even on the call sheet, I put everyone's information, how to tag them. So clothing or stylist by, hair by, grooming by, makeup by, photography, retouching, producing, studio by, whoever contributed to that project for the greater good, then you tag them. So in this case, the client would be the model, would be the bride and the groom or whoever, if you're gonna set up a test shoot for whichever industry you have. You have to let them know ahead of time. And I would say, in addition to tagging the photograph, please make sure that you list everyone cohesively in a row so it's not all jumbled up together. And you would say, put them all in a row, encourage people to click and to follow, etc. That's the best way to do it, because when you do a collab shoot, which again, I've said over and over is like it screws you over, nobody really wins, and they've already started the conversation with you in an almost dishonest way. So dishonest meaning they're gonna try to get one over you and get a free shoot out of you, but this one is more of like, no, we're building towards a good. There's a greater good towards all of this. For number 6, there is something about captions. And so we have to educate ourselves and our clients about the right way to do captions. And the right way is that the photographer, this channel is to really mainly help photographers, all creatives, but the director and the photographer should, so that's who I'm gonna favor, should come in the first 2 lines. That way they don't have to expand the captions and click the 3 little dots. That way what they can do is actually see it right there and see it in like context too of, oh, they're the ones that did this. Oh, they're the ones that they're really, really grateful for. So that's the best way to do it. It's a very short one, and we have to tell people that you cannot, like, it has to be right there in the top, and they don't need to go into a very, very long gatekeeping type of caption, where sometimes people will talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. That way they can say, hey, I tagged you, but you're not really seeing who did it, because people aren't gonna read that far down. Then we have number 7, and number 7 is basically about placement of everything. A lot of people are going to put captions, and then after the captions they might put hashtags. And if you're going to do that, putting the credits after the hashtags means you are the devil. But if you're contractually putting it in the contract because you give them some kind of a reduced rate or something, then in that case I would say credits should be given in the first 2 lines to maximize marketing efforts, and that's much appreciated. And then as far as test shoots, what I would do is tell the team, please tag your team above the hashtags. The hashtag should always be the last thing in your post, and then that helps them realize, oh, okay, I can't be pulling that stunt no more, because really no one is gonna go all the way to the bottom to go figure out your hashtags. Let me tell you about a bonus one, which is gonna be number 8. The bonus one is that you can always say, and I wouldn't put this in a contract, but I would say, hey, not only do we love a good tag and a good mention in the captions, but you can also share it on your stories. And a way that you can also really introduce the idea is, by the way, anyone who signs up, every time we bring a new client, I like to reward my clients that are loyal to me with blank. So these are bonus points, and they don't necessarily have to do it at all. But if we teach our clients to do that, and if you are a client watching this, then understand how impactful that is for the business, because we treat stories on Instagram differently than we treat captions. And so stories are a lot more casual. And so we're likely to believe that a lot more versus like a formal, like, so-and-so photographer was just brilliant. Remember you said, hey, for every new client that you refer, I like to reward those loyal clients with blank. That could be additional prints, that could be additional hours, etc. Or a discount, but I say make the discount the final one, and I do say that in my step pricing course, Secret to Easy Photography Pricing, and that is right down below. By the way, listen to what Carol said. Carol just booked a massive job, so I actually have, and I asked her permission, I have the audio of her leaving this message, and this is what happens for my students when they take the step course. check that out for a second. And then let's go into number 9.
I just put together a few days ago this booklet, if you will. I had to submit a proposal, a rate package and proposal to these LA healthcare clinics. There's like 14 locations. It's going to be a big job. So whoever was going to get the PDF rate package was also going to have everything all in one fell swoop, to also include sample images to show some of my work, which really made the difference. And all of that to say because of you and the class I took. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
I got to work on my shot list real fast, and I got to be downstairs in a few minutes. But generally, if they gatekeep you, you never ever want to work with them again. One time I was working with Super Bowl halftime performer. That's clue enough. I was gatekept so hard because what they would do is this person and this person's manager, who was the devil, would sit right next to us, like literally, like, what are we talking about? And so they gatekept you, and I always recognized that, and I said, you know, like, I remember thinking to myself, you don't want me to put food on my table. You want to own me. You want me to just be yours, but I can't benefit outside of you. I can't live and sustain and have a career. And I remember that, and those like these pivotal moments that made me go, nah, I need to get out of here. It's one of the cruelest things, because you're saying, I can have you, and I'm gonna have you, but I wanna make sure no one else contributes to paying your rent, putting food on your table, etc. So encourage people to open their mouths so you can put food in your mouth. You need people to talk about you, because we don't exactly run Facebook ads. You can, but I don't recommend it, or we don't do other things like big billboard advertisement magazine. It's all about a word of mouth. I really want to say that. Sounds negative, because it was negative, but anyone that gatekeeps you, gatekeep them from your talent. All right, the last one, I gotta run downstairs and meet the guys, is that photographers don't ask for tips. Like, you'll never see us taking and spinning that iPad around and saying, the iPad is gonna ask you a couple of questions. Everywhere you go, it's tip culture these days. We don't do that. And if you wanna encourage them to give you a tip, that's on you. I don't highly prefer that. I think that if you're able to name your own price, then you should be able to name a price that works for you. But I would give you the tip of saying, remind them that it is their tags and their mentions that keep you employed, that put food on your table, that allow you to sustain your lifestyle and your business, and that it's appreciated. I would even potentially go as far as saying, in lieu of tips, we just ask that, like, the greatest tips that you can give us is promoting our services. It doesn't cost anything, but it does bring us thousands, tens of thousands down the line. Tell people what's up. Tell people how they can help you. And most people are good. And it is so dry in Vegas. Most people are good. Most people are great. And they're going to help you win. Now, if you want to learn more from me, there's a whole playlist here, and subscribe button is here. I'd love to see you. If this helped you in any way to protect your business, to promote, please give it a thumbs up, and I hope you win. That's the whole point of this channel. And if you click subscribe, I will likely, or increase my chances of seeing you again. I am late. I gotta go.